Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Hujambo msikilizaji wetu, hii ni Radio Fadhila ikikutangazia kutoka Masasi, Tanzania. Tunakuletea kipindi cha Freedom Pioneers of Africa. Kukuletea hayo utakuwa na mimi mtangazaji wako Edwin Mpokasye. Matangazo yetu haya yatakujia kwa lugha mbili, ya Kiingereza na Kiswahili. Na leo hii tutakuletea episodi ya 11 ambapo tunakutana na Nelson Boateng kutoka kampuni ya Netplast Eco Ghana, ambaye yeye amekuwa mbunifu ambaye ameweza kutengeneza matofali kwa kutumia takataka za plastiki. Je, ubunifu huu hapa kwetu Tanzania unaweza kuwepo?
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Wana mabadiliko katika jamii wanakutana na waunganishi wa kiulimwengu kuona ni kwa jinsi gani wanaweza kubadilisha mawazo makubwa ya Afrika na kuwa fursa kubwa. Tutasikia kutoka kwa mbunifu wetu kutoka nchini Ghana, ambapo ameona kuwa njia ya mazingira yenye tija, ambapo ameweza kubadilisha takataka za plastiki zinazoelemea mji mkuu wa Accra, ambapo ameweza kutumia na kutengeneza matofali na barabara. Tatizo lililopo nchini Ghana ni kwamba nchi hiyo inazalisha kiasi cha tani milioni 1.1 za takataka za plastiki kwa mwaka. Ni 5% ambazo hukusanywa kwa ajili ya kuzichakata. Tatizo hili lilikuwa baya mwaka 2015, ambapo takataka za plastiki zilizagaa mitaani, katika mito na maziwa katika miji mikubwa. Tatizo hili likawa muhimu na kutaka kutatuliwa, ambapo serikali ilitangaza mpango wa kupiga marufuku kwa plastiki katikati ya mwaka 2015. Ghana imechukua hatua kubwa kukabiliana na tatizo hili, na mwaka 2019 Ghana ilikuwa ni nchi ya kwanza ya Kiafrika kujiunga na ushirika wa Global Plastic Action, ambapo rais wa nchi hiyo Ado Dankwa Akufo alisema ya kuwa Ghana ipo mbioni katika kuongeza juhudi zake na kuwa mfano kwa nchi zingine za kimkoa na katika bara la Afrika kukabiliana na tatizo la takataka za plastiki. Unaweza kujinyakulia moja ya zawadi ya randi 100 kwa kushiriki kwako katika majadiliano kwa njia ya simu kuhusu mada hii. Na sasa basi tusikilize habari za Nelson Boateng. Nchini Ghana, changamoto kubwa ambayo inatazamwa na watunga sera, wanasiasa, serikali na wadau ni jinsi ya kukabiliana na takataka za plastiki. Kila siku takataka za plastiki zinazalishwa ulimwenguni, baadhi yake zikiishia baharini na hivyo kuhatarisha viumbe wa baharini. Nelson Boateng na timu yake ya Netplast Eco Ghana Limited wakadaka fursa hii katika mji mkuu wa Accra na kuweza kutengeneza malighafi kwa mtindo wa matofali na simenti yanayotokana na takataka za plastiki, kujenga barabara na nyumba. Na hapa ni habari yenyewe, na tusikilize.
In Ghana, we have a problem of plastic waste, and according to the UNDP report, Ghana is generating over 1 million tons of plastic waste annually, and only 5% is ever found and recycled. The rest found its way in the drainage, the landfills, the car parks, and others, causing the government huge sums of money to get rid of this plastic waste. So we also have the problem of housing deficit in Ghana, also have the problem of schools under trees, and also unemployment. Now, Netplast is trying to tackle all these three problems by using the problem of plastic waste. My name is Nelson Boateng from Ashaiman, Ghana, and I'm a Freedom Pioneer of Africa.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
I started working in the plastic industry at the age of 13, which is child labor, but due to the hardship on my parents, I need to work and also help myself, help them, and help my other siblings. In 2012, there was a misunderstanding, so they decided to sell the company, and they put across the board that anybody that brings a buyer will have the 5% commission. I got the buyer, so I used all the money that I got the commission to set up Netplast in order to help those who lost their job find a new job. So in 2015, the government decided to ban plastic bags manufacturers. Okay, so by then I've employed over directly, I was having around 74 workers employed directly, and over 300 indirect workers. They are those that pick the plastics, the women that pick the plastic from the environment, and we pay them according to the kilos of plastic waste they were able to collect. So when I weigh the job I'm creating, and if the government brings this ban, what will happen, not only to myself, but those that depends on me for their food. So I have to think of a way. Even though we felt bad, but we still have to think of a way to keep the business going. And that gave me the turnaround to move into something that will save the environment rather than to bring a product out that will pollute the environment and cause lives and property. So Nelplast is serving so many clients, but the issue here is now our waste collectors can take 20,000 kilos of plastic waste from the environment on daily basis. But Nelplast can do only 3,000 kilos due to capacity issues, that we don't have enough equipment and enough space. So sometimes when they collect the plastics, we tell them, please take it back. We will call you when we are in need, because one, we don't have the capacity. Two, you can't keep those waste collectors' money with you for long, because they solely depend on the collection for food. And thirdly, we don't have even the space. If we have the money to buy, we don't have enough space to keep this plastic waste for future use. Now we have a lot of customers who love the product not only because it's green, but it's cheaper and the durability is higher than the concrete one. But we cannot meet the demands of the customers. Some of them even call for a refund because they can't wait for a long time anymore. So our problem now, what Nelplast is facing, is we have more of the customers, more of the clients who are willing to purchase the product. We have enough of the raw materials, but the problem has to do with capacity issues. We have over 300 waste collectors. So when they bring the plastics to us, we scale and pay them according to the kilos they were able to collect that very day. Now, the plastics are shredded and washed if necessary, and then mixed with the sand at a proportion of 70% of the sand and 30% of the plastics. We add a little carbon black powder to it, and these types of plastic waste, they all have different melting points, and then comes out as a paste. Now the paste will then be placed in a mold with a cooling system around it, and then we press it with a hydraulic press. So let's say between 30 seconds to 60 seconds, we eject one product out. So in the next 3 to 4 years, we want to see Nelplast recycling all the 20,000 kilos of plastic waste these women collect on a daily basis to us. Because sometimes these women will walk through the sun, collect the plastics, and later we will tell them we can't take it because of capacity issue. So in the next 4 years, we are hoping that Nelplast can accept or accommodate all these plastic waste these women bring to us and not telling them to take it back. So we are looking at $2 million to be able to recycle all the 20,000 kilos of plastic waste we receive on a daily basis.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Basi huyo alikuwa ni Nelson Boateng na kampuni yake ya Nelplast. Unaweza kujishindia randi 100 kwa kushiriki kwako katika majadiliano kwa ajili ya mada hii. Na sasa tuungane na muunganishi wetu wa ulimwengu kuweza kusikiliza jinsi mahojiano kati ya Bwana Mabadiliko na muunganishi wa ulimwengu. Tuambie, unafikiri nini? Unafikiri kuwa Nelson atafaulu katika ubunifu wake huu, na kwa nini? Tumeandaa ushauri kwa Nelson pamoja na waunganishi wa ulimwengu. Bianca Praetorius, kocha wetu, anampatia mangamuzi ya usio teknolojia, kidijiti na ubunifu. Hebu tuone Bianca atakavyomhamasisha Nelson na Nelplast Eco Ghana Limited kuelekea katika mafanikio makubwa.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Hello.
Hello, this is Bianca Praetorius. I'm a startup pitch coach from Germany, Carnegie. Nelson, hi. I've seen your business and I thought this is amazing, and I thought I really need to talk to you. So am I right in understanding that you used to be a plastic entrepreneur? You actually made your money by producing plastics, and then there was a point in your life where you realized, wait, I have to be on the good side of things in life, and turned absolutely your positions and started a business that collects all the wild plastic in nature that is like tossed there to actually build houses and create plastic building blocks to give housing to people. Is that correct?
That is perfect.
Wonderful. This is really exciting because, of course, when you first see this kind of business, then I thought, okay, we should all do that. We should this should be the norm. So from changing those sides, can you tell a little bit how did your environment and people around you change when you came from a person that pushes plastic into the person that takes plastic off where it's found?
So Nelplast was incorporated in 2013, where we're doing pelletizing of plastic waste, but that is only to HDP type of plastic waste. So we were making some money. Then in 2014, I decided, no, I'm still not getting enough. So why don't I produce the shopping bags myself out of my recycled HDP waste? So we started with that. Business was good. I was making more money, and the banks were so happy to approach me. And then in 2015, June 3rd, Ghana lost over 250 people and properties. And with the research they did on as to why this flood came about, they found out that the problem has to do with the gutters being choked by plastic waste. So I decided that no, why don't I venture into a business that saves the environment, that we collect the plastic, but what we brings out is to save the environment, create employment. That is how I started.
15 years ago, ecological friendly products were like a nice to have, and people would talk about it like, oh yeah, I care about the environment and that's why I'm building these sustainable materials. But now, like the UN, the climate COP 21, 22, 23, like there's so many intergovernmental movements to actually make this needed, that we like have the Paris Agreement where we said 2050 we're going to all be carbon neutral. So do you see an uplift in that business that could turn it into, hopefully in a few years, Nelson will sit in front of me and say, you know what, I made 10 times as much money with this building blocks compared to my old like last century plastic bags thing. So do you see that movement in the market happening, that you maybe for once can make better profit margin, or would you say that's always going to stay like that?
Now, we are making profit out of this, but not as much as polluting the environment with the shopping bags. With these bricks, you need high energy to melt the plastics. Now, there are alternative ways to generate heat. So that is what I'm looking at. But for now, I'm just trying to keep the business stable. Now, my next move is to how to deal with these heating problems, because it's the heating that is costing me high cost of electricity.
How was the step on getting other people convinced about investing in this business?
We've had some help, UNDP. We have some help from GCIC and other agencies. So what I would say is, when you have a passion to venture into any business, the passion that you have will attract other helping agencies or NGOs to come to your aid to grow their business.
Like really important takeaway that I found here is in a way, innovate where it hurts first. So in the process of Nelson, like he started with the most urgent problem in the market, and once the business is stabilized, he focused on the next internal problem. So to solve that, in his case, that's the power consumption. So what's the most painful problem inside of your business, and that you should jump on first, even if it hurts. So this is why Nelson jumps on the power consumption price, because that when he solved that, then everything will be much easier from going forward. So don't solve the easy parts in your business ideas first, but solve the hard parts first. That's the takeaway here. Financial literacy is actually important because it helps you with understanding how elastic, not your bricks, but your business is. So as an entrepreneur, you kind of need to be able to move. So cash flow is a big challenge for most entrepreneurs, and of course also for Nelson's business. So when the listeners, think of building your own ones, if you focus on your margins, then give yourself a better chance. That gives yourself a better chance at survival by not growing too quickly, even if it's tempting, even if you, in your mind and your heart, you want to become a global business straight away. You might then be easily crushing under your own weight because you don't have the cash flow. Thank you so much for your time, Nelson. Have a wonderful day and speak to you very soon.
You're welcome.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.
Basi tunamshukuru Bwana Nelson na Global Connector, na kama tulivyosema, unaweza kujishindia zawadi za randi 100 za Afrika Kusini kwa kushiriki katika mada hii. Ni nini mawazo yako kuhusu ubunifu wa Nelson? Unaweza kununua nyumba iliyotengenezwa na matofali ya plastiki? Kwa sababu gani na kwa nini usinunue? Unafikiria nini na ni nini unafuu wa kutumia bidhaa hii? Utatumiaje matofali haya kama inavyotakiwa kujengea nyumba? Je, una mfano wowote wa jamii yako ambao wana nia ya kuwa wabunifu na wajasiriamali? Una mawazo gani ambapo unaweza kupunguza takataka za plastiki katika jamii yako? Ni pengo gani la ubunifu katika jamii yako? Unaweza kufikiria chochote ambacho jamii yako inahitaji ambapo kinaweza kubuniwa katika jamii yako. Kama tulivyosema, unaweza kutumia voice note ukawe ni mmoja wa washindi wa randi 750 ambapo hutolewa kila wiki. Tuambie ni changamoto zipi katika jamii yako ambazo unaamini zinaweza kubadilika kwa ubunifu. Kwa kushiriki majadiliano yetu kwa njia ya simu, kwa kupiga simu namba 0622562231. Unaweza kushiriki mazungumzo haya kwa kupiga simu kwa namba 0622562231. Vile vile unaweza kututumia voice note. Anza na +27636278997. Nitarudia, anza na +27636278997 ukielezea mada husika. Ujishindie kiasi cha rangi 750 za Afrika ya Kusini. Basi nikushukuru wewe ambaye umeweza kutusikiliza katika kipindi hiki cha episodi ya 11, na uendelee kuwa nasi. Nikikuaga kutoka studio zetu za Radio Fadhila hapa mjini Masasi, Tanzania. Ni mimi mtangazaji wako Mpokasye, nikutakie usikivu mwema wa vipindi vyetu vijavyo.
Freedom Pioneers of Africa.